Welcome to our course, Catch You in Chat in Microsoft Teams. My name is Sarah, a training specialist here at Microsoft, and in this session, we'll be exploring how to use Teams chat to stay connected with your contacts and colleagues. And after our session, you will be able to send and reply to chat messages, use messaging tools to enhance your conversations, and manage your chat conversations. So let's get started. With chat in Microsoft Teams, you can quickly message people one-on-one or with groups. You can highlight important content using rich text formatting or humanize conversations with graphics and emoji and stickers and memes, and use at mentions to call attention to a specific colleague. You can attach files directly to the conversation for easier collaboration, or use messaging apps to share and update information, and even access your favorite services and tools right from Teams, for example, a Team OneNote or a YouTube video. And of course, you can extend the chat conversation. You can start a call, schedule a meeting, share your screen. And here's something else. You can resume conversations right where you left off. You can easily stay connected with folks in different time zones or with different schedules, and you can quickly access relevant conversations, even find past conversations or files, and this is all because Teams uses persistent chat. So persistent chat history, it means that once you've had a conversation in Teams, whether that's a chat or a meeting or a team channel, that conversation will always exist. And the reason this is important is because it provides the opportunity to keep all your conversations contextual, allowing you to pick up right where you left off. Also, you can still maintain privacy in chats because you can determine how much history a new person has access to when added to your group chat. So some of it, none, all, these are different history options that you have. And persistent chat allows you to search. You can search for people, files, topics. You have quick access to all your stuff. And you can even leave messages for people who are offline or otherwise unavailable. And they'll see your message and will be able to respond when they return to Teams. So let's see Microsoft Teams in action. All right, to get our bearings, I want to take a quick tour. On the far left-hand side, this left rail, this is where you're going to have access to different tools and features within Teams. And you can click an icon to update your view. So for example, you click the chat icon and it updates you and turns you right into the chat feature. Over on the left-hand side, you're going to have this left panel or this left pane. This has a list of your conversations. So the most important conversations you can pin up to the top. You'll see pinned conversations. These could be your favorites or the most relevant or what you're working on right now. And then all the other conversations will be listed below as recent conversations in order. And then there's a few other tools right at the top, like the chat and the funnel, and those can give you some more ways to add to your conversation. Now, this main area here, this is the staging area, and this is the shared space where you're actually conversing with your folks. At the very top, you're going to have the chat. It could be a one-on-one or a group chat. In this case, it's a chat with my communications team. And then you'll have some tabs across the top, a chat tab, a files tab, and other tabs can be added as well. And if you go to the very end, there's a plus sign. The plus sign is where you can add tabs. And this is where you could add, think of a tab like a shortcut or pinning an item that's important for this conversation. And this could be a file, it could be an app, a service, a tool. Some of these are Microsoft-based, Microsoft 365, but there's also third-party options. And your IT admin can control what options are available for you and your organization as well. But these are some items that you'll see. And at the very bottom, there's this text box. It's actually called the compose box. That's the official name. But the text box is where you type in your message. There's some tools below that that help extend the conversation. And there's a paper airplane icon that allows you to send the message when you're ready to go. So let's start by actually starting a message, okay? So in the left side, you'll have some tools at the top. One of them is a pencil inside of a box. And this is where you can start a new chat conversation. So I'll click on this. And then we're prompted to enter a name, an email, a group, or a tag. So we can enter a name. These would be people inside of our network. Teams already knows all the people in your network because Teams is connected with Microsoft 365, hooked up with the Active Directory that your IT admin is managing behind the scenes. But maybe you want to connect with somebody outside of your network. Maybe you want to connect with a customer, a client, a contractor, a vendor. You can just put that person's email address in. Or maybe using a group or a tag, this is be a way to connect with a group of people. So you can use a Microsoft 365 group, or you can use a Teams and Channel tag. Now let's give you some examples. So I'm going to start typing in Miriam. Miriam is somebody in my organization and she's listed. So just click here. And we could start a one-on-one chat right with Miriam right out the gate. Now, if I wanted to add Grady, okay. Now this is no longer a one-on-one chat. Now it's a group chat because there's 3 or more people. Maybe I want to type in, let's try typing in comms. And so now what I'm seeing is actually a tag. So instead of typing in just one person, I could add in a tag. So that depending on who happens to be there, this happens to just be one person, but I think some of those folks might already be in that tag. Or you maybe type in Northwest or something like that, and you might see some groups or some tags. Now, what if I wanted to bring in someone outside of my group? So I'm going to bring in Irvin. So I happen to have his email address. I can just copy and paste that in and bring in Irvin. Now, if it's the very first time, you're going to have to copy and paste it, but sometimes your tenant will even remember people, even guests. And so as I start typing in Irvin's name, it's like, oh, you mean Irvin, our guest? Yeah, absolutely. So you start putting in this list. You can have up to 300 people at this time in a chat. And then down below in that white box, that compose box at the bottom, you start typing in your message, and then you simply press enter or press the send icon, and that's going to send it out. So pretty easy to get started. I'm going to try this again, just a little twist. I'm going to go back here to that new chat button, pencil and box. I'm going to type in Alex, put in Alex Wilbur. And it's taking me to an existing conversation. So that's that idea of persistent chat. If the conversation already exists, you're not starting a new one, you're resuming, you're picking up right where you left off. If I add in Grady, this is a group chat. Looks like this is a new group chat. If I add in Pradeep, I gotta spell Pradeep's name correctly. I'm going into a group chat, and this actually is a pre-existing group chat. We already have it. In fact, you might notice it over on the left-hand side. Here's our Alex, Grady, and Pradeep. So let's go ahead and jump in there. And this is it. I could just put in a quick message like, hello, something really simple, and then either press enter or click the paper airplane and send it out to the group. All right, now I want to draw your attention to a couple features that we can use to enhance the conversation. And the first one is the @mention. And what you might notice is that in bright red lettering, it says Adele Vance, and that's my alter ego. I'm logged in as Adele right now. And there's a big @mention sign. So one of the things that you can do to draw attention to people is you can @mention. That's also going to send activity alerts. And if you've set it up, you could even get an email or a phone ring or whatever kinds of alerts you want to have based on this. But it's a way to catch people's attention. So maybe I want to draw attention, and I can, down below in this compose box, use the @ sign, and then these are people in the conversation. So I can start typing a name, or I just choose somebody like Grady. And I can put in something like, please share feedback budget. Got to move my mouse out of the way here. Feedback on budget at next meeting. All right. And again, I'll just go ahead and send that out. Not everybody sees this, but Grady, he's going to get a special alert because I mentioned him. Another thing you may want to do is you may want to add graphics. This is a great way to humanize the conversation. You might notice the graphic here in our conversation, but you can add emoji. You can add graphics that are supported by Giphy. This is a brand that is showing trending graphics. They change every day. Or you can even put in stickers and memes. And again, your IT admin can, at a global level, determine what graphics are appropriate or not appropriate. But it's a great way to engage people in the conversation and put that in there. You can also add files. Now, this can be really handy. You may want to bring a file right into that conversation so everybody has easy access. They can collaborate on it together, real time if needed. Files do not live in Teams. Now keep that in mind. All the files that you see in Teams, they all live in the cloud. And chat-based files, they're going to live in OneDrive for Business. If you're using Teams and channels, those files primarily they live in SharePoint, or they could be another third-party cloud storage provider. But your files that you have in Teams are just actually pointers or shortcuts to the source in the cloud. So when I upload a file from my computer, what I'm really doing is I'm placing it in OneDrive, OneDrive for Business, and then I'm giving sharing rights to everybody in this conversation so that we can all work on it together. Or I can go to my OneDrive and I can find a file that I already have and I can share it out with this group. So I think what I'll do is I'll share keynote presentation. And you can add a message in there if you want. Any feedback? Like that? Can I spell correctly? Let's go ahead and put that in there. And so again, you can put that information, just share it right there in the spot. And you'll see that there are some other options, some files that are shared as well. Okay. Now, when you have a file that's in this conversation, now people have easy access to it. You can simply click on the file and it opens up right in Teams. So you don't have to have lots of different windows opened and toggling. It's right here. You can edit it directly, or maybe you're not editing it, maybe you're just reviewing it. That's an option too. And over on the far right-hand side, we're going to see that conversation. So here's the same conversation. We can continue. There's also the option to hide or show that conversation. Maybe you want to do a little bit more heavy lifting. Maybe you want a little bit more muscle when you're editing. You could actually open this up in the desktop app. And again, it might depend on the file type that you're working with. But if you're using a Microsoft 365 file, then definitely you can have more ways to extend it. That's part of the subscription. You can work on this file real time. You can collaborate on real time with your colleagues. So maybe Alex is online right now or Grady's online right now, and you want to work on it together. You can do that. It's called co-authoring, and that's a feature that's been around in Microsoft Office for a long time. Or maybe you're going to take turns. Maybe you'll work on it, and then when Alex opens it up, he'll see the most current version because it's all pointing back to that original source in the cloud. When it comes time to close the file, you're ready to go back to your main conversation view. There's an option called close. So that's one way to close that view. Or you can also just click chat. Remember that those icons at the left, they reset. That's kind of a nice shortcut or best practice to know that, hey, I can always reset the view just by clicking on that icon on the far left over there. Now, there are other tools down below, and I just want to give you a quick cursory. The first one looks like an A with a paintbrush. And when you click this tool, it's going to expand the compose box. All right, it's actually a toggle. It will expand or collapse, so you can be easily amused for hours and hours. But at the top, you're going to have some tools that allow you to add more formatting options. Maybe you want to highlight something. Maybe you want to add bullets and numbers. So it gives you some more formatting options. Plus, you can press enter. So maybe you want to have a slightly longer conversation. So it allows you to press enter. And those are some reasons why you might want to expand that. Maybe you want to set a status. Maybe this is going to be important message, so you can mark it as important. There's also going to be options like scheduling a meeting. This could be handy if you want to extend the conversation. And it automatically invites the people who are already in your conversation. And then you can set up all the extra details and send out that message when you're ready to go. I'm going to close this though. And then after that calendar icon, you might notice some other tools, and these could vary. You might not see the same things that on your screen that you see here, but let me point out this ellipsis, the 3 dots. Whenever you see the 3 dots, it means more options. It means click me. And these are messaging apps. Now, again, Teams is highly customizable, and in your organization at the global level, your IT admin can determine which apps are available for you. But the big idea is that there's lots of ways to extend the conversation. Maybe you want to send a praise or a weather report or a map and add that into the conversation. You definitely can. And I would love to see you go through and just explore those different tools that are available in your conversation, enhance your conversation that way. And then also at the very top right-hand corner, you can also extend your conversation by just starting a quick call. Hey, got a sec? It starts an instant meeting. It allows you to use your audio, you can use your web, you can share your screen. It even has some other extended meeting tools to help you engage people in that conversation. Maybe a quick chat or back and forth is just not enough. Maybe you want to actually talk with people about what's happening. So those are some ways that you can engage people. It also is important to be able to follow up on your conversation. So let's take a closer look at some options here. One of the things that you can do when you hover over these items is you're going to see some reactions that you have. And a quick thumbs up, I like it, it's actually a really good way to say, I got the message, I'm on it, I see it. So instead of having to type in, I see this message, you can just thumbs up. Or maybe, I love this, this makes me happy or laugh, this makes me so angry. So you have some different reactions. There's that ellipsis again. We know that means more options. It means click me. And we can see there's some other options in here that may be helpful for us as well. I want to show you something else that's interesting too. I'm going to go to a message that I wrote. If it's a message that you wrote, you also have options to edit or delete. Now, can you delete other people's comments? No, but you can edit or delete your own comments, and that can be handy. Maybe that's something you would need to do at any other time. So I'm just going to go ahead and change that. I also want to point out one other little tip and trick here. Let's go back to this ellipsis. Mark as unread. This could be handy if you're looking at your messages, you're reviewing them, and you realize you need a follow-up, but not right now. You're about to head off to a meeting, or you're going to go to lunch, or it's time to go home for, well, it's time to turn off the computer. And so we'll go ahead and mark as unread. This does a couple things. First of all, it puts this last read, this blue line across the top that kind of saves your place. So the next time you're back in Teams, you can show up. And then you might notice on the far left-hand side, the item got bold. And the bold simply means that you have some unread material. So those are some things you can do to help you follow up. And what I want to do next is take a moment to explore how we can organize these conversations on the left pane. This is your space, and you can organize it any way you want. And it's a great way to prioritize conversations and then maybe put away some conversations that you don't need access to. So the first thing you'd want to do is pin the conversations that are most important to you. So for example, I have this conversation with Grady, and I might want to have easy access to that. So you can click the ellipsis or right click, and you can pin. This moves it to the top, and then you can actually drag and drop your pinned items. You can move them in any order that is helpful for you. And you can also unpin items. That's nice as well. The items that you have in here too, you can also mute. So mute would be handy if you are getting distracted and you simply want to turn off some of the alerts. I think what I might do is maybe mute a meeting, for example. And so if there's any alerts coming in, I'm not going to get any of those updates. It might help me focus on a particular project. And you can actually unmute as well. You can do this with items that are also pinned. You can mute an item or unmute an item. Now, you can also hide items. So if it's an item that you don't want to see in the list, you can hide it. That doesn't delete it. It simply removes it from your view. So you're not going to see it. Or even better yet, you can leave. You can leave group chats. You can leave meetings as long as you're not the meeting organizer. And that means that you're not going to get any new updates from that conversation. You're no longer part of that conversation at all. You'll still have a historical record. Remember, persistent chat is all about that historical record, but you're not going to see any future information if you leave it. All right, let's go back to our group chat. I just clicked on it. The bold went away. Oh, but I still see that last red, so that's a good reminder. What I want to remind you is a couple options you can have with group chats. So the first has to do with naming the group chat. At the top, you're going to see that it's called Alex, Grady, and Pradeep. There's a pencil icon here, and this allows you to give the group a name. So maybe I want to call this sales team. Got to be able to spell it, right? Sales team. And I'll just go ahead and save this. This name is a shared name. It's a common name. So everybody in the group is going to see this name. And it's immediately searchable and usable. Do you notice in the left panel, the left pane, it says sales team? At the search at the top, I could actually type in a word like sales, and it will show me my sales team. Or if I typed in, let's say, Grady, I'm going to see conversations I have with Grady and then other conversations I have, including, we are in a conversation called sales team. So it gives you some ways to help stay connected with these folks. And I'm going to click on the pencil. Again, you can change that name. In fact, in this case, I'm actually going to just delete the name and go back to the list of names just for the sake of our demo. But keep that in mind. That's a really good best practice to give your names, give your groups a name, because often you'll be in groups that are very similar, have very similar styles or groups of people, and the names help differentiate. You might even need to add or remove people from your group chat as the project is changing or as the group is changing or evolving. And over on the far right-hand side, there's a list of how many people. And this is where you could actually remove people from the chat. You could leave yourself, all right? Or you could add people in. Let's see if we click on add here. Now, when you add someone in, again, you could add someone who's part of your network or outside of your network or part of a tag. You have the option to choose the history. By default, it says don't include chat history. That means if I brought in Miriam right now, she would be starting fresh. She's not going to see the last weeks or 2 weeks, in this case, the last couple of years, because this group has been together for a couple of years. She's not going to see that history. That could be really handy. Although maybe I want her to have access to this. I don't want to have to catch her up on all the files and all the conversations. Give her all the access. So you have that option. Include all the chat history. Or maybe there was a major shift last quarter or last week. So maybe you want to set it up to include the last 90 days or the last 10 days or something like that. So you have some options in there of how you're setting up that group chat. In fact, let's add Miriam for real so you can just see what happens. Bring her in. So we've added Miriam to the list. You might have noticed at the top, her name pops open. And then also all these things that I've been doing about naming, changing the name and such, they're actually creating a log in this list, kind of letting us know what's happening here. All right, let's go back to our list of people. And Miriam was helping us out. thanks, Miriam. She's no longer part of our project, so we'll just go ahead and remove her. Are you sure? Yes. So you have some options of how you manage this conversation. Everybody is kind of managing it together. That's the nature of the group chat. Now, one-on-one chats are a little bit different, a little unique. A one-on-one chat will always be one-on-one. You cannot add people to a one-on-one chat, and that's how a way to respect the privacy. So the name is always the name of the person. And then when you think about adding people or leaving, you don't leave or add. If I wanted to add a name, really what you're doing is you're starting a new group chat or you're resuming a group chat that's already exists, right? So this one-on-one chat with Alex will always stay one-on-one. All right, so as we are wrapping up, I want to go to help. And I want you to see some of the options in here. And let's just start with help topics. We'll just start with the beginning. The big idea is that you can learn more about Teams right from Teams. And the best way to learn Teams is just jump in and start using it. And as you're exploring help, you might discover some topics that are like, oh, I really like this. You can also type in a keyword. So for example, pin chat. Let's just see what shows up. And you're usually going to find some support article or video that gives you information about, in this case, how to pin a chat. I like this one, start and pin chats. Those are some good ideas. And again, you can always just reset by help or reset by chat and jump back in to where you were. Okay, so the best way to learn Teams, it truly is just jumping in there and start using Teams. And I'm going to recommend a few go-to activities for you to help you continue learning. So one would be send some chats. Maybe add a graphic, a file, or just even a quick hello. Another is set up a group chat and give it a name. And the other, I would recommend that you pin your relevant conversations, explore those options in that left pane, maybe even explore some of the other tools that intrigued you as well. So thank you for viewing our training. We hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.